Speed, Anthony, it's great to see you again. And
Thank you.
Excuse me, I'm cracking up a little bit that you played this part, Dr. Lecter, with
relish.
With relish.
On the side.
On the side.
Thought you'd like that.
Would you agree that, because you're so believable as this guy, but would you agree that he's a good argument for capital punishment?
That's I can't get into because I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
Sociological and psychological and sort of ethical implications of the right to take another life, never mind what they've done. I think.
Yeah.
No, I don't think. We see in the world today people meeting force with force. I don't go along with that. I think you can't meet force with force. You meet it by negotiation and not by force. And I think killing another man because he's, as much as people may want it, I don't know. I'm ambivalent about it.
Which is
maybe
relevant to what's going on,
relevant
to what's happening in the world today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Of course, this personally, I think this. The Silence of the Lambs could be a good release from the horrors of the world today, if you look at the escape element of this movie.
Well, movies, they say, do go... Well, it's a terrible thing to say, but people do like entertainment, don't they? They like getting away, and they...
Yeah.
But, I don't know how this... it was certainly a privilege to work on and enjoyable, because, funnily enough, a director like Jonathan Demme, who has created this monstrosity of a film, and this wonderfully brilliant monstrous film, the center part of which is so much evil, is the most compassionate man you could work with. He's a man who's a political activist in human rights. He's an extraordinary man. And politically, constantly active in liberating human suffering. And here he is, he does a film like this, and I think that's his great touch, his great genius, is that he brings a film to life which has such compassion in a way, in a strange way. And he gets the audience a glimpse of the horror of evil in Hannibal Lecter and the other demented guy. And in a way, it's a kind of healthy glimpse. You just have a look at what the face of evil is, the face of the horror.
Yeah. One of my favorite scenes was when Lecter was introduced for the first time. Whose decision was it to have him? I thought he'd be way back in the corner, but to have him standing so bold.
Well, I'm going to be very conceited. I'll take the credit. I asked John, because it was the first time I'd actually appeared on camera in that scene. It was on a Tuesday morning in January of last year. And Jonathan said, Tony, said, how do you feel you'd like to be discovered? He said, we talk about you all the time before we get to the cell. I said, well, I had an idea a couple of nights ago, maybe last night. I said, something that really spooks me is people standing alone in a single empty room. I said, I'd like to be seen standing there. So as she's coming down the corridor, she's full of anticipation and dread. And the man she's going to meet is staring straight at her, and he says, good morning.
And
like
the audience,
he knows that she's there.
Yeah, and the audience has no idea what they're going to see either.
Well, is it scary?
It's scary, yeah.
Oh, good. That's what I wanted to be.
It's wonderful, yeah.
I wanted it to be
What
scary.
was your favorite scene? Do you have one particular scene?
They're all my favorite scenes.
They're all. There's so many good ones.
Yeah, I love doing them. The scene in the big cage at the end, that's where he really gets a kind of deep relationship with Clarice. And, yeah, that was a lot of fun.
The close-up.
Yeah.
Where you're Clarice, you're asking her about herself, and of course she's been warned not to tell you anything.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, that was.
I enjoyed that film. I enjoyed them all, actually.
Yeah.
The only one technically was the night in the ambulance.
Yeah.
I won't give the plot line
Okay, we don't want to say too much.
But that was an uncomfortable time. We did many takes of that. It was a very cold night, and it was a bit uncomfortable. That's the only time.
That was the only time. Yeah. Some people have said that. I've been reading this as a horror movie. I don't think so. How would you describe
thriller.
it? Psychological thriller.
Yeah, psychological terror story. It's the most frightening movie I've seen since Psycho.
Excellent suspense. I think Hitchcock would have been thrilled.
I think he would, yeah. I think he would. I've never seen a film so edited, so tight.
Yeah.
It moves fast.
Does Jodie and Scott and yourself, do you think it's a good ensemble? Would it make a good stage play?
Oh, no.
You couldn't do this on the stage?
No, you need the impact of the power of the lens. I don't think you could do this. I don't think thrillers work on stage. I mean, I've seen some good thrillers like Dial M for Murder, but, or Gaslight, that old melodrama. They don't work today because they may have worked in the Victorian theatre or in the theatre years ago, but the cinema is so advanced now. I mean, the cinema can terrify the pants off people. I mean, it's so powerful, and especially in America, the way they add sound, the way they manipulate an audience with sound. I mean, now when I watched this from the actual build-up before she meets Lecter, I mean, I was scared, and I knew what was coming. When all those clanging gates, boom, and then she's alone, and you hear that sort of subterranean, all the air ventilation shafts that rumble. And you know that, in a way, what Jonathan has so manipulated is that she is not just in the prison, she's going down into the depths and the labyrinth of the human mind, of depravity and insanity, and it's a terrifying bit. My heart was going boom, boom, boom.
I felt like a youngster when you went through the horror shops at the carnivals. They had those House of Horrors, and you'd go through those things and come
that's
out
right, yeah.
scared to death.
Terrifying.
Yeah. Did you, in preparing for Lecter, do any case studies of some of these serial killers?
No, they're too distasteful. I didn't. I just, no, I didn't do any research. I just played him from my own experience. No, I didn't do any research. Why are you laughing so nervously?
Because last night when I went home, I had to take, it was dark when I went in the room. And
was I there?
You were there. How would you have interviewed Clarice? What might you have said to her as far as to trying to find out about her past?
Who? Me?
Dr. Lecter, yes.
Well, it's in the film. How?
Yeah, just give us an example of what you might say to Clarice if you're trying to find out about her past. How would Lecter have asked her?
As he asks her in the movie, you mean?
Could you do that for me?
Oh, I see. Quid pro quo, Clarice. You tell me things out. How do you think?
Okay.
Our little Catherine is waiting.
And this may be a little clue here.
Oh, that's the butterfly, the moth they find in the
Death's
mouth.
Head. Okay.
Our little Catherine is waiting.
And this may be a little clue here.
Oh, that's the butterfly, the moth they find in the mouth.
Death's head moth. Yeah.
Yes, this character who kills these women, he puts a pupa, a chrysalis of an unformed moth in the throat of the body, because in his depraved mind it represents change and growth into beauty. It's a very strange film.
Very strange, but always good to see you and talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
Okay.